Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, All Relations. Today we're back with another special episode with Dorje Will over here. Hey, we're in Sedona, Arizona, and we have Ryan G. So today we're talking about the idea of being an angelic human, and it was kind of inspired by something that Will was sharing with us in terms of a song where he caught on to like a freestyle node and he started to channel these amazing lyrics. So, Will, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yes. Hello, my name is Will, or Dorje Will, Divine Will, many different names. You can call me what you want, but at the very least, I'm Will. Nice to meet you. Angelic human. Well, that's your true nature. That's what you are. There are many historical archetypal representations of the fulfillment of the angelic human. You could say it's Christ. You could say it's Padmasambhava. You could say it's Odin. You're going to find these legendary figures of perfection, pillars of influence that drive us to be better versions of ourselves, may be these windows into what true nature could possibly be. And although ultimately at its core it's mysterious, we will find continuity and traces that are emanating from these expressions. And that's going to be found largely in the principles of virtue. Simple things like kindness, love, giving, self-sacrifice. Anything that we would consider to be virtuous are going to be qualities of the angelic human. And the angelic human is not... It's not something impossible to attain. In fact, it's far more simple than we realize. And that's actually what makes it so challenging. It's like, I'm going to acquire my divine nature.
Right.
It's like, that sounds like an epic quest. And for some people, it seems impossible. Of course, don't want to chew the whole elephant in one bite. Take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
But the idea is that any path that we're in the process, we're cultivating these virtues. And that is the restoration of our true nature in what I call the angelic human.
So what's coming up for me is how would the angelic human handle vices or something that is completely opposite to its virtuous nature?
Well, there's two ways you can approach it. You can approach it looking at it intellectually and mentally, and you can say, I have a problem, or hey, this is a problem. But I like to get rooted back in non-conceptual awareness. And that's grounding myself back into a neutralized, loving place. And we can start with something as simple as, okay, I have a problem. I'm aware of it. First step is awareness, right? That's what they say. It's the nice cliche thing. But where the rubber meets the road is actually doing something about our challenges and the pain in our life. That's the hardest part. Right. And by actually softening what is hard, we can turn what is hard into something soft. And so we have to soften ourselves. So to me, and it doesn't matter what you're going through, whether it's a vice or it's a challenge with somebody else, the solution or the approach is always going to be stabilizing the heart and the mind. There's a very simple approach. The breath is the anchor. It's the life force. It's the ruka, the kudsha. Okay. So just taking a couple of slow breaths. We know breath work physiologically activates the parasympathetic nervous system and it gets us to calm down. But because we're spiritually inclined people, there's far more to it. And so by just literally taking time and surrendering to stillness, to silence, and to observation, you can allow the energy of that vice to unfold.
And become a device.
And become a device, that's right. And it's like we talked the other day, but for the sake of this nuanced conversation here, we're giving an obscuration, an obscured energy within our body, a safe place to be expressed, to be observed. Yeah. Because we have this idea that unconditional love is the ultimate force of the universe. And so we have the capability to literally give ourselves that, but sometimes we don't know, or we forget. Right. Or it's far too less stimulating than what we're used to. We might be used to spiritual busy work and extensive rituals and prayers.
Or we're conditioned into unconditional love.
Right, exactly, that too. So it seems like this is inaccessible, but it's actually very simple. And so that's the message I'm trying to convey here. So just take time, calm yourself down. Take some of those Holy Spirit breaths in. Just let yourself be like, okay, fuck. I'm in it right now. Damn, this sucks.
Right.
And you can give that a safe place to express itself. So give your shadow the mic. Let the voice of that vice have something to say. And so whatever it is, let it express itself without control, without judgment, without aversion, without attachment. You're not here to give it any dualistic concept or advice. You're not trying to change your pain. You're actually just trying to let it self-liberate itself. And the only way you can do that is when you set the idea that I'm in control aside. And all you got to do is just, all right, let it out, bro. And so let's say the vice is about smoking or drinking. You let it talk about that. You'd be like, I'm upset about this thing, or like, I probably got it from my mom or dad, or like whatever the story is. There's nothing wrong with having a story. The story is an authentic part of you. So why try and change it? Let it become rich. Let it be a part of how you become who you were born to become. Right. This is what forgiveness is all about. In order to become who you were born to become, life could not have happened any other way. You've done nothing wrong. If you can just consider that for a moment, immediately, oh, okay, damn. I mean, I know that this thing hurts me, but I'm not judging myself for it anymore. Not only am I not judging myself, in this moment, I'm not trying to change it either. And that right there, once the vice has the safety to express itself, the demon is just a bell that can't resonate. But the second you start to let it talk, and through that breathing, as you're giving it this safe space to express itself, it's going to return back to heaven. And so here's an actual protocol. Anytime you give it that space to express itself, after it's done, when silence has been reached, you say, thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to share? And then another layer will come out, and it will continue to self-liberate itself. You're not telling it what to say. You're not controlling it. You're literally letting it liberate itself by expressing its pain. And you keep doing that. And that pain is going to change on its own. Because the true nature of that pain actually is wisdom. That poison is actually wisdom waiting to be realized. And when you give it the space through non-conceptual, loving awareness, it is going to remember what it really is. And it's not a vice, it's a device. It's a strength. It's a virtue. And so that is a protocol that you can apply to any challenge in your life. And that gets you one step closer to becoming angelic human.
Fantastic. Yeah. My questions will primarily be around how you combine this angelic human archetype with the, let's say, Babylonian mundane, like having a job, having a family, going, etc. So there's where my curiosities begin to lie. Because, as we said before this podcast, you're still going to have to deal with people that are not of that level, of that interest, per se.
Okay, so can you phrase it in simpler terms so I don't quite understand, so I want to respond properly.
So my question has to do with how do you handle both, like both worlds, so to speak?
Like the metaphysical and the physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the goal of spirituality,
yes,
the aim should be to becoming a more functional human being. And so that is why an angelic human is both angelic, the heavenly, human, the earthly. And the angelic human is actually a key to that kingdom. It's your awakening of virtuous nature is going to naturally make you a conduit for the heavenly principles in the earthly world. That's these, by just becoming more heart-centered in the simplest ways that I can explain it, you're going to be bridging those worlds naturally. Because all these virtues and all these good things that we find and all the great sages, it's like, that we make religions out of these people for a reason. It's like, because we feel like they are bridges to something greater than humanity and what we see.
Right, whereas the bridge is the heart itself.
Right.
I see.
So it by literally just becoming more heart-centered, you are bridging those worlds. Yeah.
You said something about the keys, something about the keys to heaven. And you said that was a completely different world or a dimension. How is an average person going to ever access that realm? Is it through the heart as well?
Yes, because it only seems out of the ordinary because we're not conditioned to resonate with that vibration.
Right.
And we can get very complex in the ideas of many different types of heavens and dimensions and extraterrestrial races and planets, and it goes into the infinity and beyond. But the truth of the matter is that the universal language that we all end up agreeing upon is love.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what culture you're from, whatever you believe in. It's that love and that kindness that people are going to feel regardless of differences. That's the unifying force. And so that, in combination perhaps of what your own personal exploration is going to open up greater domains of both knowledge and virtue.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But I think it's important to note that knowledge is not as important as the cultivation of virtue. Because as I've said before, let's say we have these vices. There's something running through our body. Let's say you've been through all types of yogic trainings. And we'll find a lot of people who have done a lot of shit and they've gotten nowhere. And there's a reason for that. It's because the aim, the intent is not correct. You can become a master at something as simple as samatha or vipassana. But they specifically warn that becoming a master at a meditation technique can actually end up harming you more than doing good if you don't have the right view. And so that view that they say, it's the foundation, the framework, the lens, it's compassion, it's love. And that's because no matter what you're going through in life, love is what's going to get you through any challenge. Love is what's always there for you.
Right.
Through your highest moments and your highest lows.
What was your first experience with that love, that divine love, or bodhicitta, or even that experience of that divine love?
Well, I had an experience when I was like 18. It was in my first apartment. And let's just say I was having fun with my friends doing some different types of medicines.
Fair enough.
And I had a moment where I was in the mirror by myself and I just suddenly had like a life recall. And my heart started racing. I got tunnel vision. And I just saw like me through a whole bunch of different situations where I was like, that was me, but I'm not aware I was not aware that I was alive. I was not aware that I was a conscious being. I was not aware that I was there. And suddenly I was seeing consciousness. It was the first time that I felt like my awareness of being an aware being had like dawned on me. And that is where I didn't know at the time, but the introduction of something more than just my ego identity existed about me. There was something that's been with me this whole time. And although it wasn't like love, it was just not in the way that I thought. And it's hard to explain, but that was like my first initiation into the mystery of love, because weirdly enough, love is kind of mysterious because we have so many ideas around what it actually is.
Yeah, like Hallmark and like Hollywood movies. Yeah, for sure.
Love is not just romantic. It's not just good vibes or good feeling. It's love is love is the evolutionary force of the universe.
Okay.
That's why, just like the Tao, they say like the Tao is like the mother, and she's here and there. She's like the water who seeps to the places where no man could go. Mm-hmm. That is what love is. Love is not just a yummy thing. It's the thing that'll get into the crevices of your most disgusting aspects of who you are.
Right.
And when you remember that, when you get yourself in that place, you calm yourself down, you just get in that simple place of humility. With that grossness, with that anger, any obscured emotion, that love is not a comforting feeling. That love is just literally there. Yeah. And something about it starts to ease. It starts to settle something. And then those greater feelings can start to emerge, assuming that healing process unfolds. Right. But there's really something almost untouchable about love at its deepest roots.
I agree, yeah.
And we get that from the idea of or the simple motif of the lotus blossoming from the mud.
The mud.
Or the psilocybin mushroom blossoming from the cow shit. We see these symbols in life where it shows that the most beautiful things actually comes from the darkest of things.
Right.
And so we're dealing with something that can unite polarities and opposites. It can reconcile the paradox of these differences. And gnosis can occur.
So love is kind of like a portal to the multidimensionality.
Yes. Yes. And it's multidimensional in itself because it can help you with going through a painful process. Right. It can help you with like the most mundane of things. It can help you make the next business decision or the next, what do I do with my partner, my children, or what is my creative endeavor? Yeah. By reconnecting back to this portal-like function of love, which is just literally connection. Yeah. Intuition thrives. You can co-create with this cosmic intelligence. You're not alone. Inspiration arises from these places. And so that's the whole idea of growth, is being able to make the best of situations. That's what all these like old ancient systems try and teach us. Like, hey, like just go with the flow. You know, the Eight Noble Path of Buddha. And it's like, and then what Baba has to say, and then there's this amazing famous saying, he says, let your conduct be as fine as barley flour and your view as vast as the sky. And so what he's saying is conduct is important. You can't just be willy-nilly about your life and be a butthole. Right. Or do non-virtuous things or things that you know hurt you and expect to get good results out of it. Right. There is a certain level of discernment. Just because everything's the Buddha mind does not mean you don't act.
You shall know them by their fruits.
Right, exactly. By their fruits. But the view as vast as the sky is always remain open. Always be open to what is arising in your life. Right. And maintaining that conduct as fine as barley flour. So there is a discerning factor that comes into play. You can't just do whatever you want with love as if it's some type of like key to unlocking perfection out of every single situation. There is a certain level of right and wrong in life. There is going to be something that harms you or the people around you, or something that benefits you and the people around you. And that is an important, mature component of love. It's not just all love and light. There is an applicable, grounded component to love.
Yeah. Amazing, man. And maybe you want to share how you know about Primal Sutra, this path randomly, and how we're here in your home right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the story is even very vague to myself. I just came across a video of Primal Sutra, and it had some cool stuff in it from Sumed, and then I saw some videos with Sumed and Ryan. I even attended a live, and yeah, I liked the name, and I liked the things that were being said by these two pillars of light. Well, I guess light and dark, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, literally, you get this fucking blackjack, and he's got this cool white stuff. But yeah, it was just, I felt a heart resonance. I didn't really understand, but I felt something. And turns out you guys were coming to Sedona. So Then push come to shove, here we are, literally. Yeah, we met up and
Pretty much in your living room, yeah.
I had to test them first, make sure that they were all about what I hoped that they were about, you know, because there's a lot of bullshit out there, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's see what these people are about. I was like, all right.
I call it the spiritual circus. What do you
Yeah,
think
yeah,
of that term?
No, that's it. No, I like that actually, yeah. Carnival madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got the heart, and so that's the key. The heart's the key. In Tibetan Buddhism, the mind actually is in the heart.
Heart, yeah.
Oddly enough, the speech is here and the body's here.
A root mind, they call it, right? Yeah.
Yep. But
Interesting.
yeah, so
Interesting.
the humble abode. Thank you for joining.
No worries, no worries.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. You got this. Come to Sedona, okay?